I have a newly painted fence right next to my 4 raised bed gardens and wicking buckets. And I had my gutters replaced, so I asked the guy to cut some 8-foot pieces. So let me show you how to patch that gap with these little end caps, spray paint them, and then mount them on the fence. And I'm going to put for the winter like parsley and lettuces and some lightweight vegetables in here. I went to HD, bought these little gutter end caps. There's left ones and right ones. They have them in various colors. I'm going to paint it green anyway, so it doesn't matter, but they didn't have white in. And each side fits in the end here in one direction. So, for instance, this one will fit in here like this. Okay, I have this one attached. See this little curve? My gutter doesn't exactly match that, so it's a little finicky if I had to get those on. Yours may be easier, but I had to just line up here and swack it. Now, you're supposed to have a special tool to crimp these, but I'm not buying that tool. I'm just going to take these pliers here. You got to put a little crimp in the end. I've got these little braces in, they just tuck up underneath here. Bend down. There's an old screw I found that was in there. The holes are pretty worn out. So I don't know if I'm going to use a screw, a nut and bolt, or I tried this. I may just zip tie them and cut it off. I decided to go with the tie wrap approach. A couple holes I had to re-drill. I think it's good enough. I'll trim them all off. Just for a little structure, and they're heavy duty tie wraps. So what I'm going to try to do is screw 2 in, probably 2 feet. They're 8 feet long, so 2 feet in and 3 feet and 2 feet, or 2 1/4 is probably the middle, and screw them in and just let them hang on this. That way they're not completely affixed to the fence. Let me give that a try. Could have put it up higher. I don't see any benefit either way. I'm going to give that a try. Have the little containers mounted. I'm not going to paint all the inside because that's going to be filled with dirt. So I ran out of the green paint. I'm going to paint a little bit on the back, touch up the front, and then figure out the drain system. But it's going to be cool. I caulked the corners where I put the new ends. And paint all the inside, get the outside all painted. I put some caulk down on these ends with the old caps anyway. So I'm going to let that dry. Got some irrigation tubing, cut it at an angle. Drilled some holes in there and pushed it up through here. So one's going to come off the right end, drip down into here. And there's another one on this end. I pushed it up through and then cut it off straight. This one will drip down to the bottom. And then I have another one here that I haven't cut off yet. You can see how it's pointed like this one. And then it'll just drip off here. Here's some caulk around here. I'll just press this on there. There we go. The first version of gutter gardening. Got the dirt in them. They weren't heavy. They'll probably weigh more once they get wet. And looks really good. I think the hooks are fine. They're going to hold the weight. There's no problem. They're not going to blow off. Don't need to tie them down. I think I'm going to try some cilantro, maybe some kind of buttercrisp lettuce, maybe some garlic, some things that are small and don't need a lot of root space. Okay, took the little gutter gardens down. You can see how much has grown. Put some onions in here too. Well, I'm not really sure what's happening because these are little carrots here. I planted these at the same time. Look in a real raised bed. Quite a big difference in size. Thinking is there's not enough sun over there on that side of the fence. See, it's setting up in here in the afternoon. So I may have to move these onto the back fence. The black fence back there, which means I have to paint these black. So to be determined, this is going to work out. You make the call. Well, that's the next growing season. That's where I used to have my gutter gardens. And this is spring, summer of 2022, and now I've connected them to the fence so they get more sun. And you can see they're doing a lot better. There's a newer crop. I've got bush beans growing in here. And one thing I realized is you got to really put a lot of dirt in here because it's only that much. So you can't have something that needs a lot of root space. But you can see little beets growing right there. And it's going to be convenient picking because I just have to look underneath the plants. Look, there's some beans here. So I'm satisfied. I don't know everything that will grow in here. I got something new here. But at least something's growing. So they're getting enough sun over here. See, the pollen from the oak trees is in here. So you can see there's a little depression in the dirt. Next time I'm going to really fill it with a lot of dirt because it does compress over time. But yeah, gutter garden. One thing I realized also is I just have a little open link chain wrapped around here. I could put a longer one, and then, you know, I could probably get 2, 3, or 4 of these on this one fence right here. They're not that heavy. I can just pick them up. I think I told you before they're 25, 30 pounds or something. Yeah, so I could put several in there. So, thumbs up on a gutter garden.